military cowards are bugging out. Guzzo, radio division. We've taken Saint-Lô.
As decisive as Normandy, the liberation of Saint-Lô opens up the road to Paris. The American army pushes through to the southwest, while the British, Canadian, and Polish advance from the northeast.
Guy sticks a gun in my face. You don't think that's enough to buy me a transfer out of this unit?
Have you thought about writing your congressman?
Following the huge success of Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3 offers a take on World War II from another developer. Rather than keep with Infinity Ward, the company responsible for Call of Duty 2, Treyarch, responsible for the console version, the previous generation console version of Call of Duty Big Red 1, has stepped in to make 3. While many changes have been made to the multiplayer mode, the single-player mode has remained relatively unchanged. It's business as usual, with high-intensity battles and non-stop action throughout the whole game. The game does look a lot better and run a lot better, but it does feel like I am playing just Call of Duty 2.5. It's a great game, but I don't think it's a giant leap forward really in anything innovative. So that doesn't say that it's not fun, it's just not a giant leap over 2, because 2 was just so amazing. I've only had the game a couple of days and I haven't beaten it yet, but I have stumbled across 2 new aspects in single-player mode, and it's this sort of mode where you have to set things and push different buttons, or turn the joystick to set a bomb, for example. And I think that it's kind of neat, but it's not any more interesting than just holding the X button, which is what you did in Call of Duty 2. So I think it's neat, but I don't think it's really necessary. I really don't like the vehicles in the game. I think that they're gimmicky, and they don't add anything to the gameplay. They're not very fun to control. They're just... I don't like them, because I don't want to drive around in a game when I'm in a Call of Duty game. I want to walk around and I want to shoot. I liked it in Call of Duty 1 and 2, where you would have, you'd sit on a vehicle and shoot while somebody else drove. But, if I wanted to drive, I'd go play Need for Speed or Project Gotham or Forza 2 or something. I don't think driving in this game adds anything to the game at all, in single player or multiplayer. There's a couple other things, little things, that I both like and dislike about this game. One of the big things that I like is that in single-player mode now, you're going to see a little red dot when your enemy fires a gun, which is going to be just like in multiplayer, where they fire a gun and you hear it, you see a little red dot where they are on the map. The aim-down sights, I know it's going to be kind of hard to see through here, but when you do the aim-down sights, not zoom in like the sniper rifle, but aim-down sights with a regular gun, the screen will actually shift focus and stuff will be blurry when you're not pointing at it. And if you point to something in the distance, then things close become blurry, and if you point at something close, things in the distant become blurry, and I think that's kind of cool. And it also has kind of an interesting new little camera bob. It does it a little bit differently when you walk and run. The camera bobs a little bit differently, and I like that. I was really hoping the multiplayer mode would stay true to its roots, since it was so unbelievably popular in Call of Duty 2, but they made many changes to the multiplayer mode, which, some people may like, but I personally don't like it at all. I'm not satisfied with the multiplayer mode in Call of Duty 3 versus comparing it to 2. I think 2 was monumentally better. Again with those melees. God, there's gotta be a way to turn off those melees. Anyway, one of the first changes I noticed was the class system, where you pick a class rather than just picking a weapon, and it's I think pretty much useless. I don't feel that it's that important, other than that it rips off Battlefield because you have a medic and you have a airstrike calling thing, and I don't like it, and it does not feel like this is a Call of Duty game. It just feels like it's Battlefield, and I don't like that. Another thing I really don't like, and I think this is a step in the wrong direction, is this new lobby system. You're only given like 15 seconds between matches. picking a map and picking a mode is difficult and confusing for some people, and I don't like it. This is not Battlefield, this is Call of Duty, and I don't like that this game is turning into something more like Battlefield and less like Call of Duty. I really wanted to love this game like I loved Call of Duty 2, but I just don't think they went the right direction with this game. It seems like they listened to the people who like Halo and the people who like Battlefield and how they didn't like Call of Duty 2 and changed the game to just make it look like theirs. Because, the friends that I played with on Live, we loved the game, but it's just all the little things that just make this game not desirable to play for Call of Duty players. Just little things like you don't stay dead when you're defending in headquarters. When you're playing Capture the Flag and you have the flag, you run slower and you can't fire a weapon. You can't jump out of windows or jump over walls. It's got those stupid Battlefield artillery strikes. And really importantly is the complete lack of kill cam now. That was a big thing in Call of Duty 2, is it kept people from camping out because you could actually see how somebody shot you and see what they're doing, which is another good way to see how people are cheating. But now you're just dead and that's that. You don't get to see how you got killed. I admit I do enjoy Deathmatch and Team Deathmatch, but I think the other modes suffer too much from being changed and are just not that fun anymore. I swear, it's like they just said, look at Battlefield, let's make our game just like that. And for people who like Battlefield, that's great, but for people who like Call of Duty 2, it's not the game that we want. After playing for, an hour and a half or 2 hours today with my group of friends from Call of Duty 2 on Live, after a while we literally just said, I don't want to play this anymore. I want to go back to playing 2 because I don't like the changes that they made to this multiplayer game. The single player mode, besides a few gimmicks here and there, is still very, very good and very, very solid, and I think a very worthwhile reason to buy the game is the single player mode rather than the online mode. So for me personally, I'll probably be trading this in after I beat the single player mode and get Gears of War and play that online. But if you really like games like Battlefield, you'll probably love the online mode of this game. So questionable multiplayer mode aside, this is a very solid game with a solid single player mode, and if you like it, very good multiplayer mode. Again, if you like that sort of thing. It makes me hard to recommend the game because I don't personally like the online mode at all, but it's still a very good World War II first-person shooter.